Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Saggies, I wanted to go ahead and take a look at whatever the frequency shift may be at this point in time. Energy change, frequency shift, however we want to look at that. Um, I just feel like we have a lot of different energies around us right now. We've got a lot of solar energy coming in. So, and we're getting ready to wrap up the year of the snake. So we have a 7 of Pentacles. We have a 2 of Cups. We have a King of Cups. That's actually really, really lovely. That 7 of Pentacles shows us, something that could be extremely, like full of longevity, like a mindset first has changed toward relationships, love. I almost think maybe this could be a little bit more about someone other than Sag right now. But because it is shared energy with that 2 of Cups, but I'm going to say first and foremost, it may be a masculine who could be an earth sign who is having a frequency shift hit him. And he is saying, I want a long-term connection and I want that with my Sag. I'm in a place where I don't want to do some 5D connection where I sense Sag. I actually want to actually open up my emotions. See, I'm thinking that the frequency change is going to be what's coming at Sag, which could be him having a few drinks for some liquid courage and then, projecting his thoughts outward. This could be somebody who's shifting into their King of Cups energy. I want to share my emotions. I want to, like that rose blooming behind him. I want to open up my emotions and I want to share how I feel about Sag. Hierophant. That Hierophant energy this is marriage. And I know this isn't a 2 of Cups card, but I always think again of the 2 of Cups because of those two like earthenware jugs here. This is somebody who wants to propose to Sag. Maybe this is somebody Sag has been with for some time and maybe it's already been like 7 years or something, or maybe it's just been 7 months or Page of Cups. They already have some photo of Sag. Um, if this is somebody from a long time ago, then they might have known Sag from way back when. This could be somebody where, Sag and this person grew up across the street from each other. We have that coffee cup. And it's like they're waking up and smelling the coffee like Sag is my person though. What the heck am I doing? Sag is my forever person. I could also though look at this as somebody who simply has already been dating Sag and they're realizing I'm ready for long term. This is how I want things to remain. I just want to keep growing with my Sag. Do they need to apologize for something first? Yes. 10 of Cups in the reverse. This person may have said that they never wanted to be married. This is somebody who's very sorry that they made maybe a stupid statement because they weren't thinking about marriage with Sag. Maybe they were like, oh, I don't believe in the institution of marriage. But that's because they didn't think of it with Sag. It's a whole different ballgame. When you have a chip on your shoulder against something that you haven't seen be successful until you change the players, you change a scenario. Now it could be successful, and now that's exactly what they want. Hang on though. Is this somebody who has been with Sag, or is this somebody who had broken up with Sag? We have an 8 of Cups sideways. We have the Queen of Wands upright. That 8 of Cups sideways almost speaks of like kind of broken up. Maybe they started a relationship with Sag. Look, it's never changed that they want Sag. We can see that. Sag is their Queen of Wands all the time. Always, always, always going to be the person that they, are the most attracted to, the person that they're most drawn to, right? But we also have with that 8 of Cups sideways, they might have been like, yeah, we'll just keep this lighthearted because it says it's not exactly like they're needing to come back because they were never exactly gone. But this feels like somebody who wasn't Knight of Wands. Okay, that says it all. That says everything. They were, sorry, I have to grab this snake ring that I just noticed had fallen in that crevice. Sorry, I don't mean to call this person a snake or anything like that, but Maybe this is just like during Year of the Snake, this behavior that they had exhibited has changed. This could have been a very lighthearted, no strings attached relationship. They were in and out of Sag's life, and maybe Sag was fine with it. Like, we're just having a good time. We're just playing. We're not serious. Hang on. What is changing for Sag? Because I don't know how Sag looked at this person or if Sag is even into this person as long-term commitment material. Based off of them being a Knight of Wands, Sag may not be. We have the Magician upright, but the Page of Cups sideways. This says Sag has been busy manifesting what they want for their future. Not necessarily like if that person would just say that, hey, I'm really sorry that I treated this like it was some lighthearted connection when really it's so much more important. I think Sag could do without. It might be nice to still hear that, but I don't feel like that's what Sag has been trying to manifest. If anything, Sag has plans for their future, and it may not even, for all I know, it doesn't even have to do with romance at all. Sag could be busy doing other stuff in their life. Ace of Wands. I think Sag has big plans for, something that they want to do, especially moving into next year. This feels like Sag has been having the time of their life. They've been busy. They've been having a good time. They've been having fun. They're creative. There's so much going on in Sag's life right now. I don't see them, stuck on this person. We have a Knight of Cups. Sag could also have already met somebody else who is perhaps exciting, who is perhaps, I'm not going to say it looks like Sag is currently dating two different people. I'm saying a Knight of Wands was more or less in and out of Sag's life, and Sag has been saying, honestly, my mind has shifted anyway, kind of away from them, and I've recently encountered somebody that it's really funny, really sweet. I don't know, I might spend some time with that person and get to know them. This feels more like the potential. Sag knows that there's a potential, that there's somebody else. There's always other wonderful people on this planet, right? But more than that, I think Sag has been really busy manifesting, having like a good time in their life. They've been doing things that make them happy. Death card, 5 of Wands in the reverse, 3 of Cups upright. Everything here keeps telling me we have a Sag who's been like, oh man, I love spending time with my friends. I love spending more time. I don't get stuck on anybody now. There's too many awesome things to do and explore and experience and places to travel and friends to travel with. And my life is made up of so many more than just one relationship. So I'm really just enjoying my world. That's the frequency change for Sag. Sag is not hung up on, whether or not a relationship with this one person is going to be the end all be all. So they basically have kind of like, I have this image of somebody who has let go and sprinkled something out of their hands and is dusting their hands off. And that is that Knight of Wands, who, bear in mind, that Knight of Wands is the one who's had this huge frequency change. And all of a sudden, they're Captain Sirius. They're the one who's like, Sag is the love of my life. I got to get a little bit of liquid courage, and then I got to tell Sag I want to marry this Sag. Is Sag about to get an actual marriage proposal at the same time as like the apology? Like, I'm sorry that I didn't treat this like it was this amazing connection when it was right from the gate. They knew that Sag was the Queen of Wands first time they ever dealt with Sag. Judgment card. It is everything all at once. This is somebody who's about to both propose to Sag, apologize to Sag, ask Sag to really make it official with them, start a whole new chapter with them. This was somebody who said they never wanted a commitment. They didn't do commitments. They weren't even necessarily into monogamy. And now they're like complete 180 turnaround. That's a big change for them, but it comes at a time where Sag has not been concerned about them, but instead Sag is more concerned about, I want to live a really happy life. I want to laugh more. I want to spend time with people I care about. I want to pursue things I have interest in, hobbies in. I'm not stuck on anything. I feel more free than I've ever been. Does that mean Sag is at a place where their frequency has shifted to where they don't even want a partnership? I mean, that is very possible. This could be Sag saying, oh, I want to be single though, and just casually date. 10 of Swords it could be that Sag is saying, my life is so great right now. I have no interest in surrendering anything. But we have a 7 of Swords here. Okay, let me put it this way. Sag has come to a conclusion, and what is changing in their frequency is like, I'll never let a relationship be something that makes me hurt or that makes me feel sad. Any relationship that does that already, I'm not interested. I'm not even going to call it a relationship. And for right now, I'm done dealing with any of it. The only caveat to that is unless it were a situation where I never had to feel that way. Otherwise, I'll keep everything light and I will do the things I love in life and I will, sashay my way through life and I'll have fun where I feel like it, but I won't let things into my life that are going to cause me grief or make me feel like, I have to go through these massive endings when things don't work out, because I'm not planning on things working out. I'm just taking my life as I want to enjoy it. However, even that is not entirely true, because should something fabulous and very stable show up, I think Sag is like, yeah, under those conditions, maybe I would do things different. But I don't see that happening right now. Sag is just like, I'm done being, feeling unhappy. So I think that this person who, acted like a player, didn't want anything serious, even though they were nuts about Sag, who's now had this 180 and now they want to full on marry Sag. I do feel like that is probably the person that did actually cause Sag to shift like this and say, I won't ever let myself get stuck on somebody and their behavior, and I won't let myself feel like it's a painful ending. I'm just going to stay light and fluffy, and I don't really care what's going on with them, unless something very serious comes in. We have that Ace of Pentacles. You know what? I will say this on this storyline. The only way that Sag would maybe give this person a second look, this night, a second look, is if they came in that serious. Is if they came in with this huge cup of love and a marriage proposal. I mean, honestly, what I'm going to say is that's maybe what it should have always been, based off of how important they knew Sag was to them right from the beginning. I just don't know if they dismiss something and want to stay light and keep it unimportant, and now they've changed it. Do they just get to suddenly get Sag back? Or is there? I mean, we see frequency change, and we see them very sorry that they squandered a 10 of Cups and treated it like it was a fun game that they enjoyed, but not like it was the person of their life until now. And I'm just wondering, with this massive change that they have, is this going to work? Well, let me put it this way. They are doing double time to try to catch up with that Knight of Swords. This is somebody who I do think Sag is going to see a massive change in this person, and it's like an overnight transformation, and it does seem like they're going to be rushing in. I think that they know that they had lost Sag, and it's not like they are only changing because they're like, I was having such a good time. I don't want to lose my good time. That's not it. They have shifted into, like, something about them has matured. Something about them has said, I could see being with Sag for the rest of my life. What the hell am I doing? Acting like this is, something lighthearted, or I never want to be in a big commitment. The thought of like Sag being with somebody else is driving them nuts all of a sudden. They want to lock it down with Sag. They don't want Sag to get away. This is somebody who can't bear the thought of Sag ending up in someone else's arms. So they are going to try to do double time to get Sag back. But that could also be pushing Sag to be like, come on, get married to me. And it's like, I'm not so sure how I feel about this. I don't see Sag giving them any immediate answer. With that 3 of Wands, it would be at least like, I would need to date you for about 3 months first and figure out whether or not I see actual change and how do I feel about this. Because remember, Sag just shifted gears pretty significantly and is like kind of having the time of their life, and had changed their mind about what they're manifesting, and is just like, Sag was planning on a really great next chapter of more fun. They pictured themselves single, but maybe dating somebody different who could be really sweet. Someone with a motorcycle, someone Sag might want to go on a little mini trip with. Sag might have been planning a trip with their sisters, with their friends. Just in general, Sag had different life plans, and now this person's asking Sag to change their mind. And instead, will you marry me? Will you be with me? And it's like, wait a second, you were the Knight of Wands before. This is a lot to take in, and I do think Sag is going to have to give this time before they answer. But look, these are the messages that we got. So all I can say is there wasn't really ever a time when this person didn't know that Sag was their Two of Cups, but they certainly weren't mature enough to be a king. They were just a Knight of Wands and had some chip on their shoulder where they didn't want marriage for quite some time, and that has all changed. It feels like it's a bummer that they didn't know that right out of the gate, that, you know, just meeting Sag, obviously they had a different opinion, but they took time to recognize that. I think the big thing now is they can't bear to see or bear to even think of what if Sag ends up with somebody else. Like they can't handle that. So I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate you guys. Bye.